another episode of Your Drunken Uncle.
Here we are. What episode is this, Grant?
It's episode 6, like in our
Episode
9th season,
6.
I think.
We're in a little chilly weather out there.
It's just time for a season change, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
changing the seasons is good.
yes, I like the change.
It's like I wish you would change your underwear as much as the seasons changed. It would help all of us.
Yeah, but that's not gonna happen. So we got a great show again today. We got our regulars. We got What Have You Drinking there. We got Tell Me Something I Don't Know. We got Top 5. It's gonna be a kick-ass Top 5. And of course, Say Uncle, Touch Ireland, everything else.
Yeah, we have a whole lineup. I was just telling Laura that we changed our top 5, so we have a new one. We're pretty excited about it.
Yeah. All right, so let's get going.
It's gonna be interesting. Grant,
Sloan.
what you be drinking there, lad?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Because I have what may not be a surprise, because we reviewed this brewery before.
I just love this episode, this segment.
This is a new beer from Dead Armadillo called Tulsa Flag.
Look at that cool beer. It actually feels different on the
It does. It has like a matte finish on the.
This is like retro.
Yeah, it's cool. And it has our new city's flag on it.
Oh, no.
And it's a blonde
I love
ale.
this.
Some smart
hand one to Laura.
Some smart boys right there.
Laura needs to have one.
Yeah.
Like right away.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's exciting when you're one of your favorite brewers. It's really hard for me to say which is my favorite brewer in Tulsa.
Yeah.
But when they come out with a new beer, you gotta try it.
Tulsa Flag.
we have some good breweries, y'all.
Yeah,
really
well,
do.
here's what happened, right? It's kind of crazy, but because Wozniak just put it on Facebook the other day, like there's a new one opening up on Admiral.
Heirloom?
Heirloom.
Heirloom.
I mean, it's just blowing up because finally this archaic system that Oklahoma City has produced for I don't know how many years, we finally have the lawful ability to open brew pubs in the state of Oklahoma. We are only 30 or 40 years behind everybody else.
Or maybe 6, maybe 60 because of prohibition.
I mean, Arkansas,
or whatever.
right next door, has been doing this for
80.
forever.
Yeah. All right, so you guys ready? Let's try it.
All right, Tulsa Flag. Here we go.
Here's my Rye.
That's interesting.
You don't love it, I can tell.
I like it a lot.
I know. See, Laura and I have different tastes when it comes to beer. I like
too.
thick, dark, bitter beers, and you're more fruity, lighter.
This is not fruity though.
Lighter,
But it's not fruity. It's not fruity. I actually almost thought it was. It almost had the initial wave of flavor is like a lager,
It is a lager.
and then there's this
Yeah.
like almost like a sour touch at the end.
Yeah, it's
Like
got
right
that.
at the very end of it, there's this like little bit of sourness. Do you taste that?
Yeah.
At
I
the very
really
end.
like this.
I mean, I think this is a great. Well,
This
this
would
is
be-
blonde ale, but this would be a great summer beer. After you mow the yard,
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
you know, this is the beer.
This
Sit-
is not
sit on
this
your
is not
porch.
heavy like their IPA, or it's not full bodied like their amber. But like if you just want like a basic beer
Yeah.
that's you don't want to drink Budweiser or whatever, this is like your beer, and it's delicious.
Yeah, it is really good, and I don't think it falls into the Budweiser Miller conversation, that category. I think it's not wheat, but it's definitely
It
not
makes it
a
sound
simple
so shitty.
lager. It's not a lager. It's just a little different. There's a little something else going on back there. For me, it almost like a hint of lemon or something in the background.
Maybe, but it's it's
Maybe.
much more basic.
You keep saying that. It sounds terrible.
Yeah, but it's not like a PBR, right? There's something
No,
else
yeah.
going on there. That's
No, it's more higher quality, but it is. It's like if you like
more
PBR, you're gonna
complex.
like this.
it's a little more complex
Yeah.
than those regular
Yes,
lagers.
I agree. Thank you.
Yeah.
You said it better than I did, but that's what I want to say.
Sometimes the words they come. I don't know.
Those are loggers?
Yeah, they're basic lagers.
So, Tulsa Flag.
Tulsa Flag, man.
Yeah.
Dead Armadillo.
Thank you, Brad.
Nice
Cheers.
work.
Yeah.
Nice
on
work.
it.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Excellent.
This is a
Cheers.
nice surprise.
I've already got half
And
of my
that's-
beer
This
drunk.
can I love the texture of the can itself. It feels like it's got like that slip grip stuff on it. Like I'll never drop this.
If you're in the
beer.
lake, man, you're gonna
This is
be,
for the this is good creek beer. This is
Creek beer.
we're taking it to the Pollard's Creek.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
that's
Creek
exactly
beer.
what this is. next summer, we're bringing a case out there.
Can't wait, man. I already missed that
Yeah.
place.
We are your drunken uncle, and we are going to Ireland.
That's right. We are going to Ireland. YD Tours. We're kicking off our new business, and we want to take you to Ireland with us in summer 2019. Probably
That's right.
May 2019.
Oh no, definitely May, and probably June added to it because we'll probably do 2 trips.
But Sloan, tell everyone why we go in May and June.
It's actually the sunniest time to go to Ireland. Like it is their summer. They have like a 2-month summer. It doesn't get excessively warm.
No.
Never does. But it's beautiful and sunny. We were there in 2013 with Kelly and several others, and took a tour. Actually, we had 2 groups.
Yeah.
And
Out of the
we
15
had
days
the
we're there, we had 8
greatest-
sunny days in
at
Ireland.
least 8, and it was kind of weird how it happened. Like when we went to the Cliffs of Moher, which is an amazing place, and everyone should see the Cliffs of Moher.
And we're going.
And we will go there. We will get you right up against those cliffs on a ferry called the Hooker. We had this incredible sunny day. It was amazing. The photography the photos we took were amazing. The next day, when we're visiting the top of it, it was raining.
Yeah.
And there was a group behind us that was following us. I think they were from like Minnesota. And I always felt bad for them because like every time we had this amazing day, they would follow us and it would be cloudy, foggy, drizzling.
You know why? They didn't have your drunken uncle magic.
Oh, that's right. Why do you magic is a real thing.
That's why you want to go with us to Ireland.
That's right.
We've got the itinerary, and in St. Patrick's Day 2018, we're gonna unveil the complete itinerary, show you exactly where we're going, have pricing and everything like that.
And we'll put that on the show. Get you out of town. You can't make it to the St. Patrick's Day party. Yeah, we're going in 2019. There's a ton of people already expressing deep interest. Like they're absolutely doing it, and they love the fact that it's in 2019, so they can prepare, they can save up, and all that. So yeah, we're gonna probably do 2 trips, May and June, and if we do 3 trips, we'll do 3 trips. I just think we'll just do trips, like until they.
If you want to go, we'll take you until everyone's gone.
We want to show you why we love Ireland, because Ireland to us, and he was doing it to me last night, showing me images of Ireland, and we both go through this. Oh, I'm homesick. Yeah, so Ireland is just amazing.
YD Tours 2019.
Be there, be square.
Oh. Sloan, tell me something I do not know.
Well, I'll tell you something you don't know.
Yeah?
It's kind of gross. Do you know that we all of us, eat petroleum oil? You know that? Okay.
Alright, second one.
Second one.
Yeah, guys.
Let's
Have you ever heard the term ergophobia?
Yeah.
the fear of work. Boom! 2 years of Latin.
I got one more.
Shit. Oh,
Dude.
shit. Oh. It's good these things come to him so easily.
I'll tell you something you don't know, maybe. Do you know that in the United States of America there are 7 states that don't allow atheists to run for office?
Shit, dude. Yeah, no, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Alright,
Texas being one of them.
Can I guess the other 6?
Yeah.
Alright, Alabama,
Meh.
Mississippi,
Yes.
South Carolina,
Yes.
Georgia,
Eh.
Tennessee.
Yes.
How about Florida? No, Florida probably does. Arkansas,
Yeah. Good. Keep going.
Louisiana.
No.
Where?
Okay.
The rest will surprise you a little bit, I think.
All right, so I went to the deep south because I thought it would all be there.
That's normally the
How
place.
are we not one?
Oklahoma.
I'm so surprised.
Oklahoma's not one. No.
Okay, so what are the other ones?
Pennsylvania.
Whoa!
Right? Isn't
Well,
that
that's-
shocking?
You know how I feel about Pennsylvania.
Maryland.
That is a surprise.
Surprising,
Okay.
right? So that's the 7.
I
1,
feel
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and of course Texas. I guess now Texas might have changed that law, but but
that doesn't sound like something they would do, though.
I think it's frowned upon. But the deal is that how do they constitutionally allow that? Like, how is that even feasible?
It should be illegal under the Equal Protection Clause of the
Right.
Constitution, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But I do know that atheists are trying to change that rule. All those states, they are trying to change it. But 7 states, and these are arcane rules that arcane laws that actually almost every state had at one point or in time.
So, but if you
these are arcane rules that they don't. I'm sorry, that they don't follow, but they are on the books.
Okay. So some atheists are one.
Some atheists are.
But even if you said, "Yeah, I believe in the flying spaghetti monster," you can run.
Well, I mean,
as
right?
long as you're not an atheist, right?
Exactly, and I believe in the flying spaghetti monster.
I know you do.
I have it on my truck.
So you can run for office in Arkansas.
And I can marry people. I want to be able to marry people though with saying the flying spaghetti monster blesses you.
I think now it's your drunken uncleism now.
Wouldn't
You
it
gotta
be
change your
something
religion.
more like
I legitimately can marry. I don't know why that came up, but I can legitimately marry people. And I'm 0 for 2. I've married 2 couples, and they're both divorced. So
don't ever ask Sloan.
ask me if you want to get divorced. Ask me if you come into this and go, I'm kind of like thinking maybe 2 or 3 years. And
Right,
I want to be out.
Yeah.
I'm your guy.
Right,
I'm your guy. But if you want to go long term, if you're thinking decades, you probably don't want me.
I'm 2-0.
Really? You married people?
Well, as best man, that's sort of the same thing.
No, it's not. I've been a best man.
Well, how are you on best man?
I'm O for everything. I am. I'm O for literally
marriage was
everything.
a crash and burn.
you're just
think-
like a curse on marriage?
I'm a curse on marriage.
A pox on marriage.
And including my own, Laura.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. All right, well, Sloan, that was good.
Yeah, so if you're an
I like
atheist, you might want
Those
to know where you live and if it's on the books because, isn't that weird though that in the United States of America,
And
that
yet,
is
right,
still,
and
in
yet,
2017,
atheism is the fastest growing, group of people. Like when you ask them what their religion is, they say
think I'm gonna be
atheism is the fastest growing.
because I just read Cat's Cradle by Vonnegut. I think I'm going to be a Bacchanist, which is a very fun.
Bacchanalian.
Yeah, you basically just do this.
All right, good job. Good job, Sloan.
All right, it took 3 tries, only 3. Fucking smart people I work with. That's what I'm saying, man.
Sloan, now it's time for our top 5, and today
We are doing top 5 white male privilege in movies
That's right.
of all time. This was a big bucket
Yeah,
to dig through.
Yes, it really was. And we understand, you may not agree with our top 5, so comment and just, give us your top 5 and what we missed.
Right.
And there's so much
Yeah.
that could have been on this list. Because to be honest, Hollywood is about white male privilege, right?
And the reason we did this was because of the timing of everything that's going on in America right now in Hollywood. And so we were actually going to do something else, but last night Grant and I were working late in the hours for this beautiful show that we're doing, and we changed it.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So number 5 is Breakfast at Tiffany's. A lot of people are going to be mad at that because people love this movie. It's
a
written
classic.
by Truman Capote.
Yeah.
It's about this sort of independent woman who's quasi beatnik. She's does whatever the hell she wants or whatever. But the film is completely riddled with white male privilege. And the first part of that is Mickey Rooney's portrayal of a Japanese neighbor.
Mr. Go right way. Someday, Mr. Go right way.
What happened to you anyway? You take off for the powder room, and that's the last I see you.
Now, really, Harry?
Harry was the other guy. I'm Sid Arbuck. You like me, remember?
Mr. Go right way. I protest.
Oh, darling, I am sorry, but I lost my key.
But that was 2 weeks ago. You cannot go on or keep ringing my bell. You disturb me. You must have a key made.
But it won't do any good. I just lose them all.
He's got the like teeth, and it's just such a gross like caricature of Asian Americans. And the thing is, the white privilege is so powerful. Like nobody even said. He says, I didn't even know this was offensive. Like for 40 years, nobody said anything. And it, like because it's okay for a white person to take on yellowface, right? And the other sort of white privilege about it is...
Didn't I pick up the check for 5 people, your friends? I never seen them before. And when you ask for a little change for the powder room, what do I give you? A $50 bill. Now, doesn't that give me some rights?
It's like, you know, it's about this male writer. He's a novelist. He's sort of the moral center of the film. And Audrey Hepburn plays kind of a troubled woman with a past, and she keeps trying to reinvent herself. But in the end, because he's such a strong man, she finally gives up her search for like a rich guy and embraces him. Like we don't know if they get married, but like there's that last scene where they're in the rain and she gets the cat back and they kiss, and it's just like, you know, her being with the white male dude who's smart or whatever. And solves all her problems. Right. She doesn't go off and say, fuck it, I'm going to go be by myself. Like, she goes back to the white male dude. Yeah. It's bad when you really get down to it.
Most of them are.
Number five.
Okay. Number 4. Smokey and the Bandit. 1970. What year was that? 1977?
Yes. I saw it in the theater when it came out, man.
I mean, I have a dirty pleasure to say I love this movie. I do. I loved it when it came out. I still love it. But it is an absolute white male privilege movie because who gets to drive? Imagine a black version of this.
It's hard.
Smokey and the Bandit with a black cast trying to drive across how many states? In a fucking... In a Trans Am, I mean, the military would have been called out, you know?
He's going like 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. And they're smuggling alcohol, by the way. They're smoking a bunch of illegal alcohol for a party or whatever it is that they're doing.
Georgia.
And so they cross all these state lines. And the two main guys, or all 3 leads really, Sally and everybody, are white. But Burt Reynolds is the main lead, and he's a typical white guy. But the killer, the greatest from this movie is Jackie Gleason, who plays Buford T. Justice. And he says some of the most outlandish lines.
Hey, boy, where's Sheriff Bradford?
I am Sheriff Branford.
Oh, yeah, for some reason or another, you sounded a little taller on radio.
Now, I was watching this earlier, trying to figure this out. I think in some levels they are making fun of something here with his character. So maybe they might be a little bit aware of at least this old-timey Southern white privilege that Buford T. Justice represents.
Yeah.
But even with that, it's still a white male privilege movie because
he gets to say
because of Burt Reynolds. Yeah, he gets to say it, but also Burt Reynolds is still, you know, it's that, you know, this is my country. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know?
There's no
But some of the lines from Jackie Gleason will shock you. And let me give you a couple.
Oh, shit.
So, he's sitting there and he's talking to his son, Junior, who's a complete idiot. And he says, he's talking about Sally. What's her last name? Fields, that's right. Sally Fields. He says,
she insulted my town. She insulted my son.
Look, what if we...
Shut up. She insulted my authority.
Yeah.
And that's nothing but pure and simple old-fashioned communism. Happens every time one of those dancers start poontanging around with those showfolk facts.
that's one of the lines.
Poontanging as a verb.
Poontanging as a verb. Right?
That's poetic, but it is white male.
Then he says this. Talk about white male privilege and talk about old time. He goes, I didn't tell you this one yet.
No.
There's no way that you could come from my loins Soon as I get home, the first thing I'm gonna do is punch your mama in the mouth.
God damn.
That's crap. That's in the movie.
I don't
I
think
mean, it's
that's funny.
shocking. It's shocking to watch this in 2017.
That counted as humor.
But that counted as humor
Hitting
back
your
in
mom.
the 70s. Hitting your punch. I'm gonna punch
Ugh.
your mother in the mouth.
Look at Laura.
There's no way. So
wasn't
here's
even
what he's
born
saying.
when this
Here's what he's
movie came
saying.
out.
He's saying basically, I'm not the fault for your stupidity. It's your mother's fault. I'm gonna go punch her in the mouth.
Makes-
What?
And all the old
Stomach
men, all the
hurt.
old men in the audience are like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I should punch my old lady in the mouth.
Oh, that's a good idea. I
That's
think
the
I
whole
might-
thing.
yeah.
Because it's basically
I mean,
Laura Mulvey's
Yeah,
days,
I
right?
mean, here's the thing that we were the dilemma of Grant and I coming up with this list last night was there's so many of these movies. There's just so many of these movies. I mean, obviously, you know,
Almost all the movies.
exactly. And here's the deal: what we were watching. We were watching Porky's. Porky's almost made this, and it's like, you know, what does this tell you? As a young male, like if you're watching this, you know, if she's a little hesitant, you just gotta push and
That's gonna
be
come
more
on- that's
aggressive.
gonna come on the list. Let's
All
get
right,
back to the list.
all right, back to the list. Your turn.
Number 3 is The Quiet Man by John Wayne. Really, any John Wayne film.
Hey, John Wayne.
Thank you.
and so like we're getting
He
deep.
is
Like
the-
you can't. I mean, some people will be like, wait, why isn't he number 1? But
If he's
just
not,
wait.
no,
Just wait.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he should. It was hard not to pick.
Yeah, I
him
mean,
up.
so The Quiet Man, you know, he basically midpoint of the movie, he basically storms into Maureen O'Hara's little like Irish sort of hovel. He puts her in her place, right? He hits her.
Right, you.
It's only 5 miles.
Right? And there's so many movies where like
And then she falls in love with him.
Yeah, right. Of course she does. And then of course like The Searchers, where Natalie Wood plays the Native American. Like it's just
it's
you know,
so it's so bizarre what Hollywood was like.
but for many Americans, John Wayne is the symbol of America, but they don't see what the message that sends is that
We're
America
pissing
is
people
white
off.
male.
We're pissing people off with this list. I
Yeah.
know that for a fact. Some of these
It's
movies,
just true. You gotta
not John Wayne.
recognize.
I was never a fan of John Wayne. I was a fan of Clint Eastwood, so it was a different version of John Wayne, but basically John Wayne.
Yeah, that's right.
The movies that we have on this list, there's a couple that I really, really, truly love. And,
Yeah, sure.
But I just like to be aware of what I'm aware of.
Because your drunken uncles
Because drunken uncles-
try to be woke.
That's right. I'm trying to be awoke. We awoke people. We awoke uncles.
I think it's important to include trying, like we're all just trying.
We're just trying. But you gotta try
Trying to
hard.
move forward, man. Just trying to
You
move
gotta try
forward.
hard.
Sometimes.
I heard you trying.
Oh, number 2. And boy, is my email gonna blow up on this one. My email's gonna explode. But one of my favorite movies, Animal House. There is not, and I love this movie, but
Yes.
there is not, almost not, because we still have to get number 1, a more male privileged, white male privileged movie in the world. It's all about boys will be boys mentality. It is all about that. They get away with everything. Except, I mean, they don't murder anybody, but that's like
They blow
that's
shit
just
up.
that's just like a
I mean,
happenstance.
somebody
Like
could've died.
someone didn't get murdered. Oh well,
I mean, when
we
those
got lucky.
flags come down, somebody
yeah.
could've died.
Exactly,
Shit.
they just got lucky. With everything.
That's right.
And we have examples.
Yeah, we do.
We have examples. The one that for me, that's the big one is the Devil Angel on the young fraternity character's shoulders.
And it's like, what's his name from like Amadeus? Tom.
Yeah,
what's his name?
He's from Amadeus. That's right. Yeah. So he's got the devil and the angel on his shoulders, and I watched this scene earlier today. Ironically, actually, surprisingly, it's on YouTube and it shows the nudity. But which I didn't think YouTube did. The character is Clarette. Clarette is the young girl, the young woman, and she passes out. She's too drunk, and the devil's like,
fuck her. Fuck her brains out. Suck her tits, squeeze her buns. You know she wants it.
For shame! Lawrence, I'm surprised at you.
Ah, don't listen to that jack-off. Look at those gazongas. You never get a better chance.
If you lay one finger on that poor, sweet, helpless girl, you'll despise yourself forever. I'm proud of you, Lawrence.
You homo.
because the guy makes the right choice and doesn't sleep with her, but the devil says,
You mean doesn't rape her?
yeah, doesn't rape her. He goes,
It's a
exactly
choice.
right. It's a choice. And he goes. The devil says, "You fag," and then disappears. What we find out in the next scene.
And by the way, how old was she?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
In the next to the near scene, we find out she says, "I'm only 13." And then he leaves her in a shopping cart, which is, I think, symbolic. In front of her house.
Dad's house.
And I used to howl and laugh at this movie, but as an adult and living in 2017, it's shocking.
Did we watch it after
It's
a
shocking.
party? Like, and we were like, "Oh, let's watch Amos," and we watched it with
We
watched
watched
it
it with my son, and he didn't like it.
and we were like,
And then we were uncomfortable. We're like, this isn't really what I want you to behave like when you go to college. Yeah. So it's I mean, it's just shit has changed,
God.
and it really has. I mean, shit has changed. I mean, and I gotta give credit where credit's due. I think women are influencing the world. I mean, I think
But not
my
only women.
own thinking
Yeah,
has
true.
changed because.
yeah.
Maybe because I'm open to it, for sure, but also because I've found really smart women to hang out with who have said,
But it's not just
I know
women
what
in
it
that
is.
movie, because there's that scene where they go to the black club, where Otis Day in the Night sings, and wait a minute. And everyone loves that because they dance,
Yeah.
to shout, and whatever.
Right.
But there's that scene
Classic
where they
scene.
come over, where the band comes over, and it goes,
Do you mind if we dance with your dates?
Why, no, not at all. Go right ahead.
"Mind if we dance with your dates?" And the little white dudes are all like scared, like it's like big black dudes are like the scariest thing you can
Stereotypical.
imagine.
It's
They
total
want our white
stereotyping.
women. It's like it
it's
just
total stereotyping.
yeah, and the fear, we're supposed to identify with their fear because of the huge blackness of these characters, right?
Right. And then
How they want
and
the
then-
white women.
Exactly. And then all the white men are small and yeah.
It just plays into the worst racism that basically engendered the whole like segregation movement and lynching
and the
everything.
continual
Well, and
fear
was still
of the
very
other.
prevalent. It still is. Let's just say. But I mean that thinking and that kind of fear is still, that brand of racism is still prevalent.
Absolutely.
It's so unconscious in this film.
Yeah.
And that's why it's on our list.
That's why it's number 2 because I mean, you go back and watch that. That was for comedy. Like that was for jokes. Like that was the joke. And the number 1 white male privileged movie of all times is
James Bond.
or Bond.
All of them.
James Bond.
I mean, it really is
All of them.
I mean, let's just start with the early one. Okay, so in 1963, in the film From Russia with Love, right? He basically beats the crap out of the Russian spy, played by Daniela Bianchi.
James, you're hurting.
I'll do worse than that if you don't tell me. You're doing this under orders, I know. What are they?
I don't know what you mean.
Liar.
This is 1963, like, so that's the first Bond film, right? He just like smacks the crap out of her, and I guess because she's Russian, she's a spy, she should be able to take it. But that's not the only film in which he hits women. Like it's a consistent theme for at least a decade, if not more. Okay, so then in the next
Which
film,
is ironic, sorry, but he actually beats his own wife and gets in trouble with that like 20 years ago.
oh no, that's true, because in an interview
Sean
on Playboy
Connery.
in 1965, he says, you know, if she's being a bitch or, you know, uppity or whatever, it's okay. He literally says it.
But he says it with a Scottish accent, so there's like
You're doing too Irish. In 1964's Goldfinger, Bond rapes the lesbian out of Pussy Galore. I mean, just think about all that, like her name, Pussy Galore, and it's in this barn. They literally roll in the hay.
You're quite a girl, Pussy.
I'm strictly the outdoor type.
I'd like to think you're not in all of this caper.
Skip it. I'm not interested. Let's go.
What would it take for you to see things my way?
A lot more than you've got.
How do you know?
I don't want to know.
Isn't it customary to grant a condemned man his last request?
You've asked for this. Get up.
Certainly. Yeah. Now let's both play.
And, you know, he
But what is that- what is
forces himself on her, and of course, you can see her, like, relent. Like, even though he's, like, literally raping her in the hay.
Let me ask you this question, because I read that with you. I don't know this movie, so what's the lesbian aspect?
Well, she says at the beginning of the scene, I am not interested. Or whatever.
This should be a memorable flight.
You can turn off the charm. I'm immune.
Or whatever.
Like not into dudes, I guess. Oh. Yeah. I mean, this is why it's
Her
the
name is
most
Pussy Galore.
white male privileged movie of all time. Because here's the number one reason. When was the last one made?
God, just 2014, 15? Like,
and the
Quantum
character
of Solace.
hasn't evolved. It hasn't changed.
I'm just saying, like, Hollywood is sort of like learning. I'm not saying they've caught up at all. I'm just saying they're learning a little bit, because you can't make movies like this anymore.
But what's interesting to me is how long it's taking, and it's really blown up. The Weinstein phenomenon has really blown the fucking roof off this. Is how long it's taken for the white male angle of this thing to really get, and maybe not just even white male, just male. Like, it's just interesting, but mostly white male.
I said everything I needed to say last episode in my saying.
No, I know. I'm just thinking, like, how interesting, like, because I think Hollywood can be a catalyst for social change, and then here it hasn't been, which I find that kind of interesting and also unfortunate, you know, or sad or whatever. Bullshit or whatever you want to call it. So there it is, top 5.
Top 5.
Bond. James Bond.
And here's
your touch of Ireland, laddies and lassies.
Sloan, here we are leaving Baltimore Harbor, across the bay to Shergan Islands.
That's right. Heading to a beach. I know that there's some pubs out there. It's a population of 140 people.
Something, maybe not even that. There's some monastic ruins from the Middle Ages out there. It's about 3 miles long, and you know, we're just gonna hike around, see what we can see.
kombucha from your drunken uncle. All right, America, I'm calling you out. Right here, right now. The YouTube challenge.
Are you up
We
for it?
need 100 subscribers on YouTube before the end of this season. My son will not subscribe to YouTube until we have 100 subscribers. Calling you out. It's time. It's time, lads and lasses. Come to YouTube, subscribe, and let our show grow.
Aye.
And especially for my son. I mean, if he's not gonna subscribe, I mean, come on, you gotta help me out here.
Comment, like, subscribe.
And then, you know, we're on Facebook. We're on Twitter.
Laura, subscribe!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Whoa! It's a party! Woo! Confetti.
Yeah, it's
Fireworks going off.
And it's no, they never